pull these conversations out and have these conversations as a group of scientists and get together and explain to people, this is what you're getting into and this is why. And all your points are valid. Look, you go into a third world country, you expect to get paid. You get out of school and I'm going to have to teach you for a year how to do your job, and you want me to pay you for that because you haven't done any internships. While Chris has done 7 internships between her undergraduate and her master's degree, I'll put the effort into somebody I know will put the effort into me.
Well, yeah, and I think the other issue is really the business that we're in. I'm always trying to explain, especially non-profit areas, is that we're not like in a technology industry, right? We are not producing anything. We are not really providing a service. So that means when we get money, it's mainly from grants, donations, and other things. And we're like a black hole. We just swallow it up. We don't really give anything back. I mean, that's the big issue, right? The intrinsic value is that what we actually provide, I think, has a way bigger value, but it's not something I can give you and say, here, there we go. For the exchange of your money, I'm going to give you this and that product, right? And then maybe a great experience.
I think you just hit something that maybe we don't think about, which is marketing. We know when we do grants that we have to write a grant, maybe not for what we really want to do, but we can deliver that and happen to do what we really want to do at the same time. Maybe we need to find something very tangible and marketable as a smokescreen for everything else that we know we need to do.
I totally agree. But the thing is, we scientists are not very good at that, right? And I think that's one thing that my video has taught me, like all the stuff about social marketing. Like I've learned so much. Anything that I have not ever have learned as a scientist at university, because we're not even really good public speakers. You know, we are usually introverts. We don't like to talk to other people. And if we talk, we're not really able to communicate clearly. So there's like this big divide, right? We're sitting in our ivory tower and the whole world is kind of like, what they're doing, we don't know. They're more intelligent than we are. And we try to keep it that way, I sometimes feel, which is, I think, bad.
Because I came from an undergraduate degree, it was clinical laboratory medicine. So I wanted to do this years ago, but then when I went back for my master's degree, I knew that that was not what I wanted to do, but I got a master's in marine resources management because I wanted to make sure I could talk to my stakeholders and understand what their needs were. And one of the things that we do in every conversation I have with interns and research assistants is I challenge them to answer, it's a game. Why should I care? And so the game over the course of a week with interns and longer with research assistants is training yourself to be able to make what we do important to everybody. But anyway, I want to get back to you because you're really important and I really want people to know you. We've got your education, we've got a little bit about what you do, but I want to ask just some fun questions. So of all the species that you've worked with, what's your favorite?
So I have to say I became a marine biologist because I love humpback whales. Ever since I was little in kindergarten, pretty much, I wanted to work with humpback whales, which turned out a little bit different when I started to study. So I think right now it is actually leatherback turtles and humpback whales. Leatherback turtles just because it is a reptile, but it's almost like a mammal in so many ways. I could get into details, but I'm not going to bore you with it.
Leatherback turtles are the biggest of all turtles. They can grow up to 3 meters long, and their big pec fins that they swim with can grow over 2 meters long. This one is really big, and when it came up for air, it had a really big head, even bigger than my dad's head.
And humpback whales, so I love music, I play music, and I just think their songs are just so cool and fascinating. Because, for example, in Costa Rica, the area that I've been working in, we're actually getting 2 populations, and we see, even though they physically should never meet because there's a temporal dividence of when one travels and the other travels, but it seems we have cultural exchange in the music, which is insane. I mean, even thinking that they have a culture and then that there is actually over music in a way, that there is an exchange. It's wow. It's mind-blowing.
Yeah. So having said that, do you have any one thing that you can think of where you had a wow, that was incredible or amazing or oh my god, I didn't see that coming moment?
The very, very first time that I started working on the beaches in Costa Rica, I remember actually my first night patrol. I think I never realized that we're actually working mainly without lights. So that means you're working on this like super dark beach. And I mean, I also have to say, now I know it was a very dark night, the very first night I ever patrolled. It was like no moon, it had been raining, it was cloudy, and I could literally, waving the hand in front of my face, I could not see my hand. And I was walking behind this local assistant, and I could just hear him cursing in Spanish because he would stumble consistently over shit. And I was just thinking, how the heck am I supposed to be finding a sea turtle like that without a light? Like, I don't know how to do that. That was the very first night, and then it was the beginning of the season, and we had talked about leatherback turtles. And when I started leading the patrols, walking ahead of everyone else, I would stop at every tree trunk because I was like, is that a turtle? And I just heard my assistant in the back chuckle every time. It's like, it's not a turtle. No es una tortuga. And I was like, I'm so scared to miss them. And he's like, believe me, you will not miss a leatherback turtle. So the first time that I actually had the first turtle of the season, and when I saw her, like I literally saw her already, even then, back then, like a few meters before, I could just see how she was making her way out of the water. It was like, this huge animal that left a tractor-sized print in the sand. And I still, like, even now, like, I can still feel, like, my heart speeding up. And it was just so incredible because I was just standing there and thinking, wow, this is literally, like, the last dinosaur that is making its way up the beach. And I'm here and I'm actually able to see that. It's not National Geographic. I'm standing here at the beach. I feel the sand under my feet. I hear the wind in the trees, and I hear her breathing, this labored breathing when she's making her way up. It was incredible. And I think that was really the moment where I was just like, I guess that is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
It's just absolutely surreal. So thanks for sharing that. I'm excited that we get to share that with a lot of people and let them see how incredible it is, the things that we get to do. So listen, I don't have anything else to ask you. You've shared so much. Thanks for letting us get to know you. That's a privilege, and I'll talk soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much for doing this.
Absolutely.
Bye.